Hi everyone, this is Abhirami. This presentation is about venture capital, which is a kind of a financial service. Firstly, we should know what is a financial service. What is a financial service? Financial service is nothing but a service rendered to an organization in the form of finance. This can be of either fund or non fund type. Depending on the organization, the type varies. So, coming to venture capital, it is the most important and an interesting topic under financial services. So, let us have a clear discussion about venture capital. So, defining venture capital, it is a capital provided by firms who invest alongside management in young companies that are not quoted on the stock market. The objective is high return from the investment. Value is created by the young company in partnership with the venture capitalist money and professional expertise. Which means if any of the organization who is having a very good financial health will invest on a young budding company which is having a new idea, concept or a product or an invention, but they lack with funds. So, in order to get some clear idea on this concept, let us consider an example of a cinema industry. In that industry, more and more directors are having their own script, but they do not have funds to realize the script as a film. Here, the producer who is having enormous funds will invest in that script to make it as a film. The producer here acts as a venture capitalist. Let us now see a small introduction about venture capital. As I have stated earlier, it is a form of financial assistance provided to young budding entrepreneur. It is also said known as risk capital. Why the venture capital is also called as risk capital? As the fund which is invested on the new company or the young budding entrepreneurs is under risk. Why it is said to be under risk? As the success of the company is said to be uncertain, the fund invested on the company is under risk. So this capital is also known as risk capital. So this sort of investment for a new growing company plays a very big role in the growth of the nation. In India, such institutions have been set up both national and state levels. Some of the examples are Technology Development and Information Company of India Limited, Risk Capital and Technology Finance Corporation Limited. So moving to the next slide, here we will discuss what are the forms of the venture capital. Venture capital is required not only in the initial stage of the business but also required in various stages of the development of a business. So there are 4 forms of venture capital used in the stages of business development. The first form is a development of idea. This stage is associated with risk. This stage again involves 2 steps. One is conceiving an idea. Conceiving an idea is creating an idea. So the second one is converting the idea which is conceived into a business proposition. So the idea which is created by the new company, it should be converted into a business proposition. So at this stage, the venture capital should provide fund. So the fund which is provided to the organization during this stage is said to be a seed finance. The second form of venture capital is implementation of the idea phase. In this stage, the firm is set up to manufacture a product, and so the finance provided by the venture capitalist at this stage is said to be a startup capital. So the third form is a commercial production. During this stage, the firm faces risky problems. In this stage, it may not be able to get adequate funds. So the finance is provided additionally to develop the marketing infrastructure for the firm. The final stage is the establishment stage. In this stage, the firm is established into the market. It is actually realized to the market and expected to expand at a rapid pace. In this stage, it needs finance for its growth and expansion so that it can enjoy economies of large scale. Here, the establishment finance is sought from the venture capital fund. So, depending on the growth of the business, the risk gets decreased, but the need of the fund gets increased. So, this is about the various forms of venture capital. So, we will discuss now about the phases of venture capital. So, the venture capital which the venture capitalist finance passes through different stages such as raising of funds and exploring business plans, investing in firms, leaving successful firms, returning the capital to investors. The first stage is raising funds and exploring business plans which happen simultaneously. So here the venture capitals normally he will raise funds from a general investor who do not know for which the purpose their money will be invested. At the same time, he explores the business plan which is given by the new company that have growth potential. Normally, out of 100, he may get many and many proposals to be invested, but out of 100 proposal, only one or two which is capable of selecting, the company will select and then they will invest on the company. Hence, venture capital should be very careful and analyze the proposal in various angles and choose the best for their investment. So, the next phase is the investing in firms. So, it is a second phase of venture capital. Now, the company will invest in a newly created firm. So, it will why it is investing in a newly created firm? It will because the firm will concentrate only on one product because they are in the initial stage. So, venture capital aims at developing such startup business into a stable company. So, the venture capitalist thought is to develop that startup business and they want to stabilize the company. So, the third phase is leaving the successful firm. So, it is a stage where the exiting of the firms happens. After the company stabilizes the new company, the venture capitals want to withdraw their money from the company and return the money to the investors. So, what are the objectives behind the withdrawing census? One is because of capital appreciation, the withdrawing may happen. The other one is they want to invest into another risky venture. So, they want to withdraw the investment from the budding company. So, the final stage is returning the capital to the investors. After the company is stabilized, the venture capitalist will get the return from the new company and they will return the capital to the investors. So, next we will discuss what are the forms of venture capital in India. In our country, venture capital is given any of the following three forms. The first one is equity finance, second one is loan, and the third one is income note. So, equity finance. In India, venture capitalists contribute to equity capital of the companies. So, venture capitalists, they will contribute some amount as fund in the form of equity to the new venture. Second one is loan. So, venture capitalists also give long-term loans. They are repayable in the form of royalty after the project generates sales. So, the venture capitalist will fund the organization in the form of long-term loans, which they will get in back as in the form of royalty once the project generates the sales. The third one is income note. Income note is another form of venture finance where the entrepreneurs have to pay both interest and royalty on sales. So, the entrepreneurs on whom the investment has been made have to give their return in the form of interest and also royalty. So, the interest has to be given in the form of at least 9% and the royalty can be given once the sales is done. So, now we will discuss what are the functions of venture capital. So, first function is provides finance as well as skills. The role of venture capitalist is not limited only with the fund generation, but they also play an advisor role in the concerned company, which provide them with finance as well as the skills. Second one is widens the industrial base. Venture capital finances high-tech projects and thereby it widens the industrial base of high-tech industries and promotes the growth of technology. Third one is helps in professionalizing the firms. Venture capitalists assist the entrepreneurs to locate, interview and employ outstanding people to professionalize the firms. So, what are all the advantages of this venture capital? So, in today's world, venture capital is of great practical value to every business concern. Its advantage can be discussed under three heads as shown below. One is advantages to investors, advantages to promoters and general advantage. So, coming to advantages to investors. So, what are the advantages of venture capital to the investors? The first one is reduced risk. Second one is scope for analyzing the prospects of the business. And the third one is provides the means to ensure the prudent conduct of the affairs of the company. Coming to what promoters. What are the advantages provided to the promoters by the venture capital? The first one is easy way of obtaining funds. Second one is enables concentration on business activities, and the third one is reduces cost of obtaining finance. And what are the general advantage of a venture capital? So it actually reduces the gap between the technological innovation and the commercial exploitation. So for example, if we are going to start a new business, we may have all the concepts and the ideas and everything, but we lack funds. So in order to generate fund, it will take some time, where this concept may get useless while making into implemented, as it is taking more long time, this concept may get useless. So in order to implement it immediately, this venture capital actually helps by reducing the time gap between the innovation and the exploitation. The second one is helps in the exploitation of full potential. So whatever concept we are having, as we are getting a guide from the venture capitalist, we can give the full potential and we can implement all the ideas. Thirdly, it generates employment, and fourth, fosters entrepreneurship in the country. As everybody is getting investment in the form of venture capital, more and more young budding entrepreneurs will be developed in the country. So it actually help the country to be full of entrepreneurs. So apart from all the advantages, the venture capital also have some disadvantages. What are they? The first one is forced management. As the venture capitalist is, the role doesn't even stop only with the investment, they also plays a role as an advisor. They will participate in each and every important activities of the organization, which is actually it is annoying to the employees who is working inside the organization. So the management becomes forced management. Loss of equity and funding problems. As for every step and stages of the business, we are looking after a company to provide funds. So they may not provide the fund in the correct time, so funding problem arises. And limited decision making abilities, as we are under their control or fund or investment. Whenever we are going to make any new decision for our company, we need to have a consultation with that company. So the decision making ability is getting limited. So this is a clear idea about the venture capital. Hope you all have understood. Thank you.